Okay guys, I'm going to get right into it. This is Becca's Ever Matte Primer. I'm going to use it on my brows. Then I'm going to get into Benefit's Ka-Brow. Pomade is in number 6. I'm going to use a Sigma brush, Sephora brush to put my brows on. I have very light brows, and half the time you can't really see them, so I have to really go in with kind of drawing on my brows. I guess it's like hereditary. My mom has really light brows as well, so I'm just going to draw that on. I try to get my brows very natural. I sculpt underneath my brows, not on over top. Just because once I put on foundation and everything, you can sculpt the top part of your eyebrow with the foundation, so there's no need to go in with really light concealer on top of it. So that's how I'm doing my brows. I'm also using Anastasia's 6.5 concealer underneath my brows. So here's me putting on the concealer. Again, that is Anastasia's cream concealer in 6.5. I really like that concealer. It's really thick, and since it is thick, I do go in with a synthetic brush that I spray with some type of Fix Plus to blend it out, which what I'm doing right now. Because once I put that concealer on, it's really hard to get it to moving again. So I always spray my brush with some setting spray just to get the product moving. Then I also used Anastasia's powder duo, brow duo in dark brown. Okay, now I'm going into MAC's chromaline in white, and I'm going to use another Sigma brush just to blend that out all over my eye. And I lost the footage, but I also used the Nubian 2 palette, that dirty brown that's in there, all over the eye. And then I went into that purple right there from the Zulu palette by Juvia's, and I'm using a pointed blending brush to apply that color all over my lid, well, my crease, and just buffing and blowing that out. Now I'm using the Magic palette by Juvia's. I'm using that dark purple, and I'm going into the outer part of my crease, and I'm also going to go into the inner part because I am doing a sandwich eye, and I'm using I think that's the same brush, and I'm just blending it out on either points. And then once I do the center, I use a flat brush just to blend that in, blend it all together. Now I'm using that reddish color right there in the Magic palette from Juvia's, and I'm putting that on the top part of my crease in between those two colors. I'm going to blend, and I'm also going to go back into that dark purple. Then I go into LA Girl's concealer and porcelain, and I'm using that to carve out my halo eye. Okay, now I'm using the Juvia's Magic palette. I'm going to use that shimmery teal color. I'm going to add that on my eye just right out of the palette. And then I went in with my Fix Plus and sprayed my brush and then added it on to my eye. I did it that way because the last time I used that concealer, it cracked on me, and this time it didn't. So I think doing it in those steps actually worked. Now then I went into my NYX Vivid Bright liners. This is in Vivid Sapphire, and I also used Vivid Petal on top of it, and everything turned out so pretty. And at first I thought the pink was a little too much, but it was really cool. So yeah. Then I'm going into my Marc Jacobs Dewdrops, and then my Becca Evermatte on top of that. And I'm using my Bare Minerals foundation. That's in Truffle 29. And I used a concealer brush just to put it on. And just blended it out with my beauty blender. And the color was really nice on me. And it oxidized a little bit, but not too bad. I still feel like it could have been a little bit more red, but it was still really cool. I used the Tarte Shape Tape in Deep. And then I'm just going to blend that out with my beauty blender. I never put too much concealer on, because just putting enough right up under the eye, well, by my nose, and just blending it all over, which just works perfectly for me. Then I'm using Laura Mercier's setting powder and medium deep. Again, I am like truly in love with this powder right now, and I haven't been reaching for anything else. Then I'm using the KKW's contour stick, and it's like a little nub now since like I think I've used it 3 times, so it's not gonna last that long. Then I'm using the KKW's powder powder contour. I just recently got that, and today was the first time I used that. I used the reddish one as a bronzer, and then I went into the more ashy color. Then I also used these 2 blushes by MAC, and then that is my face powder by Bare Minerals. That's in Truffle as well. And then I'm going to highlight with that KKW highlighter right there, which I didn't feel like the highlighter was like too shimmery. I feel like it could have been a little bit more. Hey guys, okay, so I didn't get to show you my lip color, so I went in with chestnut lip liner with also a Kat Von D liquid lipstick in Lovesick. I went in kind of lightly. I just ate too, so I'm gonna put some more back on. Like that. I also want to give like kind of like first impressions. I just recently curled my wig. I curled it yesterday. Yeah, I washed this wig last week, and I just recently curled it yesterday. Back on overtime again, so I have this is a labor of love because I'm tired as hell, but I'm back doing overtime, so excuse me if I seem a little drained, but I digress. So I went in with this new foundation by Bare Minerals. This is in Truffle 29. I thought it looked a little, what's the word for it, a little gray at first. Not gray, but it wasn't as warm as certain foundations I normally have. But as I did my makeup and everything, I guess it oxidized a little bit, and it is a great shade for me. So, and also I'm digging the finish of it all. Really pretty. I also went in with KKW stick contour sticks in dark deep. I use the lighter one on the contour of my nose and the darker for my cheeks. Let me show you how they look now. This is the lighter one. And get into the darker. This is the darker one. There's like a slant on it. If I use this for a whole month, it'll be gone. I like it. I like the creaminess of it, especially because what I do when I do cream contour, I spray my brush with like Fix Plus or setting spray, and then I go in to blend, because sometimes products do get a little dry after you put it down. I wish this shade was a little bit warmer. To me it's a tad bit cool, not as cool as my Fashion Fair foundation that I have. I keep looking over there because it's in there somewhere. That one I like the texture, I like the creaminess of it, but the same way with this, I like the creaminess of it, but it's too cool. That one is way cool. This one is a little cool. I feel like it could have been a little bit on the more of a warmer side, but it's not bad. It's not bad. I really don't think that they should have sold the highlighter, the shimmery one, or the matte one. This is like, if you wanted to well, how I would use it is I would put my foundation, my concealer down, and then if I wanted my concealer to be a little bit more lighter, I could add this on it and then blend it out. It's kind of like I forget what it is. MAC has have one where you could just lighten, put a little bit up under your eye just to lighten up, brighten your concealer, and you can always do that with other concealer that's a little tad bit lighter. But you know, I don't really reach for this as much as I reach for this, because I really do like the lighter contour color to contour my nose, and I just go ahead and sometimes just use the darker one to contour with, even though it's just not my fave. But you know, if I'm already grabbing this, I might as well use the other half. I also use my Tarte Shape Tape. This is in Deep. I love this so much. I don't know what I'm doing. My hands are everywhere. Anyways, that's what I use. And also, I also went in with the KKW Powder Contour. I use this shade right here to highlight, and I kind of use this shade right here as like more of a bronzer, and then I contoured with this shade right here. This shade was really nice. I got a visitor. This, yeah.
Can you put on a movie for me?
Did they change the movie from off of it? Tell them to change it back. I'm sorry. I use this to contour. I want to try out this shade right here. I will next time. I don't think this is bad. I just wish this was a little bit darker. It was way warm on me. Get this out my way. It was very warm, but it still wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Most of my bronzers are a tad bit, I'm trying to grab one. Yeah, like this. Are a tad bit on a darker side, not as warm as this is, but it did show up on me. Normally they don't even make bronzers for darker skin. Maybe she could have went with an extra kit. That would be even better if you know, if you didn't want this type of warmness for darker skin. But I still use it, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. So this is like my contour. I really do like the other one to contour with. Really pretty. So that is my look. I also use my Juvia's Place palette, quite a few of the palettes that I'm gonna go into, quite a few of the Juvia's Place palettes. I will talk about it in the video. So I hope you enjoyed this video of this look. Also used a, what is it, these liners. Oh my god, I love the color and the color payoff, but these liners are so hard to deal with. You have to, these are like 2 and done. You should not go back into it a couple of times. I double winged my eyes with the what is it, Vivid Pastel. This is the pink one, and also the major color was Vivid Sapphire. This was just hell because the color actually when I put my mascara on, the color just, the liner just kind of crumbled off. I had to go back in to fill that little area in. But the color and the brush is amazing. Like, oh my goodness. But it's just, I wish they changed the formula. But yeah, this is my last summer look. I'm gonna get into more fall appropriate colors. This is my goodbye to summer. So thank you for watching, and till next time.